gonna just record. We're just gonna record, and we're just gonna talk.
Okay.
And it doesn't matter, like, because
do you want to talk about this?
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%. So, because before we were talking, like. So, because before we were talking, like, before when we were just talking a while ago, when you were telling me stuff about OJ and how he didn't know that his name wasn't OJ.
Yeah.
Since the 4th grade. And I'm just like, excuse me?
Yeah. Let's talk about it. Let me tell you a story. We are Lady Danger, where we are ladies talking about things that involve danger.
Danger.
All right. Orenthal James Simpson, born July 9th, 1947, nicknamed The Juice, is a former football running back. He's a convicted felon, but not for the murders of Nicole Brown-Simpson and Ronald Goldman, but he's convicted for armed robbery. He was acquitted of the murders of Nicole Brown-Simpson and Ronald Goldman.
Wait, so you said that... Wait, what was the first part you said?
He is a convicted felon.
Okay.
He's not a convicted murderer.
So, right now, in general, he's a convicted felon, not a murderer.
He's not in jail, but he was in jail for, like, I don't know, like a few years, probably, because I know when he was in jail for, like, the murders, like, in that period of time during the trial, before his acquittal, one of his friends stole his football merch. Mm-hmm. And he set up a meeting with his friends to go, like, buy the merch from the dealer. And his friends actually, like, attacked and robbed that guy. So he was actually put in jail for that robbery.
But that's how they got him in jail.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Yeah. So, if you're wondering why OJ was ever in prison, it was not for murders, but for robbery. Because they just couldn't get him in prison for the murders. He had the dream team of lawyers, as they call it.
Hashtag Kardashians. Right?
Yeah, he was part of it. Yeah.
Yes, hashtag Kardashians.
I want to start all the way back in 1947 in San Francisco. Little baby OJ was born to Eunice Durden.
Was he a baby buffalo?
Eunice. I think it's Eunice. That's definitely an old lady name.
Yes.
She was a hospital administrator. And Jimmy Lee Simpson, who was a chef and later, like, a bank custodian. He worked, like, a couple odd jobs here and there on the side. Fun fact about OJ's dad, he was kind of like the gay secret of the family. His dad was a drag queen.
Hell yeah.
And
good for him.
I know that if people brought up OJ's dad to him, he would get very upset.
Huh.
It was kind of like we don't talk about it.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
He actually passed away of AIDS in 1985.
Oh, no.
It was very sad.
That's upsetting. I feel bad for his dad. A little bit for OJ, but not really.
Yeah.
Mostly because OJ's dad didn't get to do the...
Didn't get to see him on trial, man. Didn't get to see him at his peak fame.
Yeah, man. I would love to have seen his drag queen dad energy all up in that courtroom.
I would love a drag queen dad. I just feel like that would be a thing in my life that would just make it better.
I would pay to see my dad in drag.
Same.
I would also pay to see my boyfriend in drag.
Maybe someday.
He let me do his eyebrows once.
Cute.
They were amazing. Our eyebrow. Apologies.
Single brow.
One single brow, and I had to swear upon my life and Nash's life that I would not take a picture of it, so I did not. I
feel like he would look good with fake lashes. Dude, I don't know if that's ever an option.
If you have ever seen this boy in full-on eyebrow, look at his full-on face right now.
Single brow.
You see, okay, first of all, look at his thick mustache and his thick beard thing he's got going on right now. So, Dane has a very nice, like, mustache and, like, beard thing going on right now, like, on his chin.
I don't want to make Dane uncomfortable anymore.
His eyebrows are almost not there. They're very sparse. But when you fill those bad boys in, he's, like, looking very smoky. He's looking smoky. Schmoky. All right. Sorry, drag queen dad. Died of AIDS.
Died of AIDS.
85.
I don't want to talk about a ton about OJ's football career because that's not what we're here for.
We're not here for sports.
I don't really care about sports or the NFL.
Yeah, no.
He was a very decorated running back. He was literally like...
Wait, who was he?
The Buffalo
person?
Bills, and then like at the end
he was
it
the
was...
Buffalo Bills?
Yes, and then at the end it was
just
the
a joke.
49ers. Yeah.
What? That was just a joke.
He was also like considered to be one of the greatest like college football players in general. He was very decorated for his football career. It was like 1969 to 79. So for like 10 years he was doing awesome. He was very famous. He made a lot of money. Later on he went in to do like some stuff for commercials. He did like some acting. He did like announcer stuff for the NFL. So he was very well liked in the football community.
Okay.
He was previously married before Nicole Brown-Simpson, which is like what he's super famous for, is like being connected to her. But he was married to his high school sweetheart, Marguerite Whitley. Yeah, they actually had 3 children together.
What?
And like these kids are adults by the time like the murders happened, so like you'll kind of hear a little bit about them here and there and what happened.
Yeah.
They had 3 kids together, one who actually passed away at the age of 2 from drowning in their pool.
What?
Yeah, really sad. About 12 years of marriage went along while he was married to Whitley. And while he was still married, he was at this Beverly Hills club in 1977. He met this very attractive blonde waitress named Nicole Brown.
They all...
She was actually 18 and he was 30 at the time. She was very young. She was freshly 18. Like she just turned 18 when they met. Yeah.
Wait, how old was he?
30. Yeah. 3 kids under his belt, a marriage. Like, you know, I it would be like, yeah.
Okay.
I don't even think like being 24 right now I could be with an 18-year-old. That would still be weird to me.
That would still, yeah, no. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Nope,
It's legal, but it doesn't feel legal.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the 2 actually got married in 1985. They had 2 children together. During their marriage, it was kind of tumultuous. They had some domestic violence issues.
And this is with 18-year-old waitress.
18-year-old waitress lady.
What's
well, they
her
didn't
name?
get married till 85. Nicole.
This is
Nicole Brown.
This is
Yes.
the one that he kills.
Supposedly, allegedly. He allegedly killed Nicole Brown and Ronald Goldman. They were both
Goldman.
yes.
Okay.
So basically, they had a history of domestic violence calls. One call from Nicole to 911 had actually been released to the media during this whole media circus of, you know, did he kill her, did he not? It was her crying, saying, like, take me away from him, he's crazy, and, yeah.
I mean, she was scared enough to call 911, so...
Yeah, he pleaded to no contest to spousal abuse in 1989. And they eventually divorced in 1992, which is 2 years before the murder.
Okay.
This is a note to Nicole from OJ that I'm about to read from you. It's from The Run of His Life, The People vs. O.J. Simpson by Jeffrey Toobin? I had to say his name like that, I'm sorry. He says, there's so many typos in this, but this is the actual note. Nicole, well, it seems that the worst part is behind us. I want you to know that whatever you might think to the contrary, I've taken full responsibility for this. He spelled responsibility wrong. And there's no E at the end.
Okay, grammar police.
It happened. And I'm doing everything possible to assure it don't happen again.
It don't happen again.
But sooner or later, we must start with our future. I love our time last weekend. I know to you it may not have been much, but it showed we can get along. I love you, and losing you is the only thing that matter, M-A-D-D-E-R, to me. So let's not forget the past. Let's work together. For the first time, in parentheses.
For the first time, in parentheses. For the first time.
To improve the future, live together. No manner what? I love you. OJ.
All right, wait. So, what was this note?
This was the note where he, like, had pleaded no contest to spousal abuse. So I'm assuming at the time, like, they weren't really talking to each other, because...
So this is this is after she did the 911 call?
Yes.
And he just, like, wrote a note to her saying...
He was like, hey, I love you.
Yeah. Okay.
You're my lady.
All right, you're my lady. I'm in danger.
Yeah, basically. It's interesting. They had a marriage. They had 2 kids, and I've seen reports that his ex-wife, like before Nicole, had said that he wasn't a violent man. So it's interesting to see that this happened with Nicole, and like she was friends with like Kris Jenner, which was like Kris Kardashian at the time.
Yes. And
she had said, like, Nicole, she was really scared for Nicole. She honestly, like, in a lot of the interviews, thinks that OJ did it.
Okay.
Yeah. I really cannot remember who plays her in the People versus OJ Simpson. It's somebody interesting. She played in, like, Legally Blonde, like, the brunette girl that wasn't friends with Reese Witherspoon.
The bad guy girl?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. She's got the cute lip. She's in the new show about with Christina Applegate called Dead to Me.
No, not her. That's not her.
Sure? Let's just look it up. Let's see. OJ. Wait, it's called The People versus OJ.
Yeah. It's literally the same title as the book. That's where it was from.
OJ. The People versus OJ. It's not even on IMDb. I must look it up on the Google. Un momento.
Google knows everything.
The People. Larry Flint. The People versus... Whoops.
People versus OJ. And it's got Sarah Paulson in it. She plays like the prosecuting attorney, Marcia Clark, which she does amazing.
Oh, it's called American Crime Story.
Oh, I'm so sorry. It is like basically an American soap opera. The way people...
So who is this person? Who is the person that you were talking about?
She played Kris Jenner.
Kris Jenner.
Yeah, she's probably like.
Monica Lewinsky's in this.
What?
Yeah, Monica Lewinsky is played by Beanie Feldstein. Bean. Her name's Beanie, like a Beanie Baby. I'm dead serious.
I feel like her name also sounds familiar. I'm just gonna look up Legally Blonde.
Listen, probably Tanya Brown? No, Jenna, no.
Selma Blair, okay, thank you.
Selma Blair?
Yes, she plays Kris Jenner.
Right. She is in that.
She was in Cruel Intentions. She was in the Hellboy movies.
Yes,
I don't know.
Girl, I know who Selma Blair is. She has a freaking MS.
She's basically like, get the fuck away from me, Robert Kardashian.
That's amazing.
Talking about your friend.
Now I need to watch that because Selma Blair's in it.
Yeah, you should watch it.
She's my hero.
Let's fast forward a little bit to June 13th, 1994. 12:09 a.m., Officer Robert Risk of the LAPD and his partner were summoned during their nightly patrol to respond to a call of a report at 874th South Bundy in Brentwood, California. Mm-hmm. So 4 minutes later, the two come up and they arrive to the home of Elsie Tistart. I do not know how to say her last name. Tistart? That sounds like wealthy. That sounds like a wealthy name. Elsie Tistart, an elderly woman who called the police because moments before a man and a woman had banged on her door with a dog.
With a dog?
Yeah, so this is Kato, like the Akita. He's kind of the hero of the story.
Akita.
If there was like a hero to the story.
They're babies. I love all
Yeah, it was Nicole's dog.
Yeah, okay.
He had ran up the street and was barking at these people. These kind of calls didn't come from South Bundy. Like, these people had money. They were nice condos, Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Ruckuses did not happen.
She was literally worried that these two people were going to rob her home, is what happened. Yeah.
Okay.
It didn't take long for the officers to figure out that the neighbors were knocking on the door because the dog had led them up the street. It was, kind of a ruckus. So this led them to Nicole's home.
Okay.
Where they had walked up to the pathway of condo 875. They were just at 874, so they were at the neighbor's house.
Okay.
they had walked up the stairs, and right at the foot of the stairs was Nicole Brown-Simpson's body in the fetal position, covered in a pool of blood. She had been stabbed multiple times. She had had a gash, like, all the way, like, across her neck to where the point that it was, like, she was almost decapitated.
What?
Yeah.
That's, like, heavy fury
it was, yeah.
Killing. That's, like, it takes a lot of strength and fury to do that to somebody.
It's definitely, like, an anger-fueled,
yeah.
Killing.
100%.
It didn't seem like there was much of a struggle, though, according to the coroner. So it seemed like a lot of the stuff that had happened was kind of like anger after the fact. Nearby, there was another body, a friend of Nicole's, Ronald Goldman, a 25-year-old waiter. And next to Goldman's feet were actually some interesting pieces of evidence that we'll talk about later on in the trial. But they were a black hat, a white envelope stained with blood, and a brown leather glove.
This feels like Clue.
It is a clue.
And it's a very fishy-spicious, might I add, that these particular clues are like, oh, just these little pieces are just so happen to be at his feet.
That's also probably just the way I'm telling the story. Because I like Clue.
But it is very Clue-like.
There was also a large footprint next to Nicole's body, which was a big deal.
Does OJ happen to have big old stompers, waffle stompers?
He's a very large football player.
All
so
right, then. Okay.
Think of it as you will.
Excuse me.
You're excused.
Thank you.
It's important to understand where OJ kind of plays into this timeline. He lives about 2 miles away from where Brown lives. So, it's not far. Basically, he has kind of his own timeline, and this timeline that I got is a court manuscript timeline. So this is from June 12th, 1994 to the early hours of the morning of June 13th. So it all kind of starts where...
I was born on June 15th.
You're so close to the murders.
Present. Oh, okay.
So he basically said, like, during the time of the murders, he was, like, at his home waiting for a limousine.
Oh,
but the limousine driver has some other things to say about this.
Ooh, okay.
So...
Spill the teases.
That night, around, like, 5:45, they were leaving his and Nicole's daughter's dance recital. 6:30 p.m., Nicole Simpson, her children, and several others go to dinner at the Mezzaluna restaurant. 8 p.m., Nicole Brown-Simpson and her children leave Mezzaluna, stop for ice cream on the way home. 9:15 p.m., there is a call from one of Nicole's sisters saying that Nicole's mother had left her glasses at the restaurant.
Okay.
Ronald Goldman goes to go get the glasses. 9:30 p.m., Brian Kalin, a friend staying in OJ's guest house, him and OJ go to McDonald's for dinner. 9:45, they return with their McDonald's. 9:40.
What ordered?
I don't know. I wonder if that was, like, bad PR for McDonald's. I wonder if they were just like, God damn it, OJ. Why didn't you go to Burger King?
God damn it, OJ.
Why did you come here?
I'm just curious as to what he would have ordered.
I feel like OJ is, like, a Big Mac guy. I don't know if he's, like, a 10-piece McNuggets kind of dude.
Yeah, I feel like he's a Big Mac guy.
He's a big guy who wants a Big Mac.
Wait, is a Quarter Pounder? Is that McDonald's or is that...
Yeah, that's McDonald's.
That's McDonald's?
Yeah.
I feel like he might be a Quarter Pounder kind of guy, too.
Yeah. Extra large fries. So you gotta supersize it.
Oh, yeah. I bet that was back in the Super Size Me days, too. All right, sorry, continue.
Oh, yeah, sure. So they return home at 9:45, 9:48 to 9:50. Goldman leaves the restaurant with a white envelope containing the glasses, which I assume is the white envelope that's blood-stained. He still got it on him. Right. It's on the floor, whatever.
Okay.
9 p.m. to... Oh, where am I at? 10:15, while watching television, a neighbor of Nicole Brown-Simpson hears the cries of a constant barking of the dog, which we think is probably about the time of the murder, like, where there was somebody in the home. It was weird.
Yeah.
You know...
Sound the alarms.
OJ doesn't really have an alibi for this time. You know, he came back to eat dinner, but it's only 2 miles away. He could have left and came to the house.
Yeah.
Let's see. At 10:25 p.m., limousine driver Alan Park arrives at Simpson's home. So he's supposed to leave in a limousine to go to Chicago for a golf tournament.
So this is OJ's home.
Now we're at OJ's home.
Okay, so where did the murder take place?
Nicole's condo.
Nicole's condo. Okay.
Yes.
Nicole's condo.
Nicole.
Nicole's
They're
condo.
like 2 miles away from each other, so it's not far.
Okay.
Yeah, these two are already divorced at this point. So 10:55 p.m., he's waited for a while for Simpson, the limo driver.
Gotcha.
He calls his boss and tells him that Simpson isn't home. He's told to wait till 11:15 since Simpson's always late.
Yes. Oh.
So sure, whatever.
He's always late, just...
So shortly before 11
Okay,
p.m.,
Tony.
Park sees a black person. This was his exact, like, I guess...
This was his
description.
testimony /
Yes.
description.
A black person, 6 feet, 200 pounds.
6 feet, 200.
Why
Okay.
is it so specific like this? Walking across the driveway towards the guest house. Now keep the guest house in your mind, because there's some evidence that incriminates OJ that's found by the guest house.
So the limo driver witnesses some tall person of the black variety,
6 feet.
of the 200 variety,
200 pounds. I don't know if
walking
it's more or less.
toward OJ's
Guest house. Yes, he's
Okay.
already at his estate. He's pulled up in the driveway.
Gotcha,
You can see what's going on. He's waiting for the dude. He's probably honking the horn. He's
Yeah.
like, what the hell's going on
Okay,
here?
and he sees
I have other
somebody-
people to pick up.
Gotcha.
I'm a limo driver.
I'm just working here. I don't know, sir. I just work here.
So he, around 11 p.m., he goes out to the front of the house to check the noise. He sees the limo driver at the gate. This is like the guy in the guest house, his
Yes.
friend,
Okay.
Kaylin. Several seconds later, Park buzzes the intercom and Simpson answers. He says he overslept and had just gotten out of the shower.
Okie dokie. Seems
kinda-
convenient.
It's kind of weird,
All right.
considering
Power nap
they
after
had literally
McDonald's.
just been eating McDonald's. He maybe saw OJ outside. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's fishy to me, but
Fishy
okay.
Smells fishy spicious.
So 11 to 11:15 p.m., Simpson puts his bags in the limousine. 11:15 p.m., the limousine leaves for the Los Angeles airport. 11:35, they get there. 11:45, he leaves for his flight to Chicago. 12:10 a.m.,
So
the
he-
calls happen.
12.
We're back to the calls again. 12:10
Okay.
a.m.
So
when they
when
get
did
there.
Okay, so when did he leave? When did he enter the limo? Roughly.
Like 11:15-ish. Yeah.
All right, hold up. I need to get some notes because
Sure.
Cat's about to break this case wide the motherfucking way.
Do you
All
want
the
to
motherfucking
see
wide
the
open.
timeline, dude? Like, it's...
I would love to see a timeline.
Sure.
But I'm also gonna write this down. All right, so
Yeah, so I'll show it to you on the big laptop screen. So
the
this
big
is
laptop
it.
screen.
It's
All right.
kind of small. I don't know if you can read
Wow,
that.
look at you. Okay, so, all right, so at 11:15, Simpson puts his bags in the limo. All right, at 11:15, limousine leaves for the Los Angeles airport. 11:35, limousine arrives at the airport. 11:45, Simpson leaves on an American Airlines flight to Chicago. And okay, so 12:10, the bodies are found. Okay.
Yes.
All right,
That's
so
after
Park-
he's already left for Chicago, which is like
yes, so
convenient. Okay.
So he leaves for he leaves.
He leaves.
At-
The bodies are found.
He leaves at like 11:45.
Yeah.
So,
But
when-
remember that
when
the
were
dog.
when were the 911? Oh wait. Okay, so the 911
dog was
calls were
barking-
found were done around. Okay, got you. Okay,
The dog was barking at like 10:15.
10:15.
So that gives him enough time to go from one house to the other.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
So around like 5 a.m., the detectives are like, okay, we got to go to her ex-husband's house. We have to tell him, like, hey, like, your ex-wife is dead.
We
The mother
found
of your
wife
children is dead.
Yes.
And
Hashtag I'm not home.
they are, buzzing the place. They're calling the place. OJ's not there. Okay,
Yeah.
whatever. So they go to, like, another guest house on the estate. They talk to his daughter, and she calls their dad, which... By the way, I need to say that these detectives were not buzzed into the estate. They actually jumped the fence.
What?
Which looks really bad for them during the murder case.
They were just like, we're just gonna.
They just kind of
No one's answering, so we're just. Excuse me. Just
well, they're
gonna
at the
jump.
guest house.
Okay.
There's a brown glove with blood on it found near the guest house.
Okay, hold up. Okay.
I don't know if you remember the first glove.
There was a glove.
Yeah. So it's kind of the same size, the same pair.
Yes.
Of gloves.
Near guest house.
So now the detectives are suspicious. They're like, what the fuck's going on?
Okay. And it's got blood on it?
Yeah.
Ho!
We suspect that the person that murdered Nicole has an injured hand.
Oh.
So they're like, okay, let's just look around. Like, this is so weird. So they go and they're looking around and they see that there's blood inside of OJ's white Ford Bronco, like on the steering wheel. So they're like, what? And then there's blood, a little bit of droplets of blood in the driveway. So now they've declared OJ's house a crime scene.
Yeah, there's blood. Okay, continue.
They're calling OJ. They're like, dude, you need to come back here.
Yeah.
So OJ gets a call like around like 5:50 a.m., like 6 a.m. Like, dude, you need to come home. Like, you need to get the first flight back home. 7 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. They already have a warrant to search this house.
7 to 7:30 a.m.
OJ's house.
Yes.
Not Nicole's house.
Yes.
That's already a crime scene.
Oh,
but OJ's house is now declared a crime scene. So they're searching this house. And they find, that, like, you know, they get a blood sample. They get the glove.
Yep.
Now, they have both gloves. The gloves match. It's very suspicious.
Very. The most suspicious.
He's taken to the police department for questioning. He's taken in handcuffs, which makes people really mad. Because I don't know if, like, you remember ever hearing about this, but in 1992, there were a lot of riots in LA because of the death of Rodney King, and they're actually, like, called, like, the Rodney King riots or the LA riots.
Yes.
So there were still a lot of tensions regarding the black community and the police.
Yes.
So to see a successful black man,
star hero,
going into a police car with cuffs on his hands in the media, people were pissed.
Yes.
So this actually plays into the case later when he is on trial and they're like, what? No, like, you're just doing it because he's black.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting enough. So he gives a blood sample, and then he's released. 4 days later, June 17th, he's charged with 2 counts of murder.
Alrighty.
Because the blood matched.
Ooh.
So.
Okay.
I don't have a statistic on how much it matched. I just know that the blood was... They were like, okay, this is OJ's blood. This is what's happening. So OJ is charged with 2 counts of murder. In an effort to maintain a head of the legal game, OJ's lawyer, Robert Shapiro, scheduled a time for OJ to turn himself in instead of being arrested at his estate.
Okay.
He doesn't want to create more of a spectacle than it needs to be. Makes sense.
Yes.
So the district attorney's office has this press conference scheduled. It's going to be a big thing. And come time for him to turn himself in, I think it was like noon or something, OJ's not there. And they call Robert Shapiro, and he's like, well, he's right here. And him and OJ's friend, Robert Kardashian, are searching the house, and they find out that there is a suicide note, and OJ's not there.
Okay.
So,
spoiler alert, he does not commit suicide.
Yes, he is still alive. He is still kicking. He is still OJ.
He is still
The OJ. LAPD holds a press conference because, like, the district attorney's office, the LAPD, they're pissed at this point. They're like, this man is a wanted fugitive. If you see him, turn him in, call us. We need to get him in now. He's making himself look very guilty. In an attempt to stay ahead of their legal counsel, which is literally, like, all his lawyer team really cares about. I mean, besides, like, Robert Kardashian, who's, like, his best friend. I need to say, like, Robert Kardashian was not a lawyer anymore at this point. He's more of a businessman. He actually had to reinstate his license to help defend OJ. These two were best friends.
Wow.
OJ was actually, like, the best man at his and
so his best friend
Chris's wedding.
Much, like, ends up being his lawyer.
Yeah, he's part of his team.
Okay.
Robert Shapiro, for the longest time, is, like, the main dude. So he's very, like, egotistical. He's very, like, this needs to look good.
Yeah.
Because if this doesn't look good, then I don't look good.
Whoa.
So they hold a press conference, and Shapiro makes Kardashian read this, like, really emotional, like, really sad, it's like he's almost, like, ending, like, his Hall of Fame run as a running back at this point. Suicide note.
Uh-huh.
And he reads it to the press, and when they come back home, they found out that OJ has been found.
Okay.
And he's with his friend. He's, like, another NFL player. His name is Al Cowlings. He's driving a white Ford Bronco down the interstate, like 30 miles per hour.
Another Bronco?
It's a slow chase down the interstate.
Broncos.
I think he had two.
What's
I think
with
he had two
Broncos?
white Broncos. I don't know, but it's a really good advertisement for Ford.
So many. Need to outrun the cops slowly on the interstate? Go for Bronco.
Yeah. This was, like, insane because they were going so slowly down the interstate. Like, it goes 30 miles an hour down the interstate.
Wait, so they found them going 30 miles down the
Yeah,
interstate?
it was highly televised.
What?
It was all over the television. I was going to
Okay.
say internet, but there
The
was
internet.
no, like,
There
internet
was
right
no,
then. It was
yes.
94. What were people doing? Was there AOL back then? I don't know.
No,
I
wait,
wasn't
what year was
born
this
yet.
again?
1994.
94.
I don't know what's going on. I was
Circa 94. Okay,
I was a twinkle in my mom's
Yes,
eye.
yes. There what? Okay, so there were definitely computers, internet. If there was, it was. I want to say the internet had not boomed quite yet.
No
I'd say a couple
Instagram
more years.
thoughties.
No, definitely no Instagram thoughties for sure. Oh, show.
Inside
was definitely
the
computers then.
truck, OJ was basically just holding a gun to his head and, like, chanting, like, what?
How do they know this?
There was actually a call to him and the district attorney. He was saying, like, I don't deserve to be here. Tell my kids I love them. And they're like, dude, just stop. Just calm down. They eventually, like, talked him down enough to where Al Cowlings drove to OJ's estate, where OJ, you know, got out of the car. They all had guns pointed at him. He had a gun pointed to his head. They were freaked out.
Standoff nation.
OJ comes in and sits down, calls his mom, gets a glass of orange juice, very on brand.
No way.
Yeah. All
OJ drinking
before
OJ.
he turns himself in.
Okay.
So
Calls his mom.
he has to call his mom.
Yes.
Mama, God, what was her name? Eunice. Mama Eunice.
Mama Apple Juice.
I don't know if Eunice was a comforting lady, but it seems like it was. Because at the end of the day, that's who he called.
Oh, Mama. Mama.
Anything to call your mom at the end of the day.
There we go. Okay. Cheers.
Yeah, cheers. We took a short break. You guys don't know we took a short break because you're not part of the break, but we paused, so.
Paz got some. We started the show with some mead, and
Is
now
this the full bee sting?
this is the bee sting. Yes,
Okay.
This is half cider, hard cider, and half mead, and it's called a bee sting, and it is the most delicious nectar of the gods.
This podcast supports bee stings and mead and the bees.
And the bees. Save the
Oh,
bees.
yes, the bees. So, let's see. We were talking about OJ getting stopped, and we're at
Yes.
his estate. He calls his mama, gets some orange juice. His family was, like, freaking out thinking he was going to kill himself, so they're just glad that their dad's safe. You know, Robert Kardashian's like, what the hell? Like, my friend's stressing me out. He's giving me more gray hairs. Whatever. So OJ is arrested. Al Cowlings is arrested for aiding and abetting a fugitive. Later released, because there's not a whole lot of evidence against him. OJ had a gun to his head, so.
Yes. He was being pursued by police. He had a gun. All these things.
Al Cowlings was found with $9,000 of cash on his person.
Oh my god.
I don't even have $9,000 of cash in any.
Someone
thing.
was about to be running somewhere like Mexico.
They searched the vehicle. Inside the vehicle was like a few $1,000s of cash, OJ's passport, a change of underwear, and some spirit glue and some fake mustaches.
What? Spirit gum and
fake mustaches.
And you know he's living... Okay, where does he live again?
L.A.
Okay, he lives in L.A., so you know that's some good quality mustache shit.
I'm just wondering...
Okay.
Where they had the time between all of us to go get the fake mustaches, if they thought the fake mustaches were going to work.
Wow.
Because, I mean, they're both, like, very tall, black football players, very muscular, like, you know, they're famous in their own right. Like,
I can't.
I'm just wondering, like...
I can't with the fake mustaches. I can't. I just can't believe he got off. I can't.
It's just funny because he was like crying about his innocence, but it's also like he had a gun to his head. But then there was also a plan to get away,
and he had fake mustaches.
The fake mustache.
It's the fake mustache that's getting me.
The name of this episode is actually called The Fake Mustache. So
fake mustache.
Thank you guys for listening to the fake. I'm not done yet.
Thank you for playing. Not done yet. I'm not done yelling at you.
So. That's very suspicious in its own right. I don't know. I don't know how I would... If you had a gun pointed to your head and told me to drive somewhere, but you had a fake mustache on you, I would be very suspicious that you weren't going to kill yourself.
Yes. Sounds like you're just, like, being extra dramatic trying to get away.
While all this happened... People were showing their support for OJ left and right. They were like, free the juice, man. Like, they were making signs above the overpass during this chase.
During the chase?
It was like an hour and a half long,
like, leave him alone.
People didn't want to leave their homes. I don't know if this is true, but, like, our friend Jeff, told me that, like, Domino's pizza sales rose that evening.
Yeah.
Because people didn't want to leave their house because they were too busy watching this on the...
Wow.
Yeah, on the television.
We should order Domino's after this.
Yeah, I just want some kind of pizza.
Dude, do you like stuffed crust?
Stuffed crust?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Pizza Hut.
I could mess with stuffed crust.
I could mess with some stuffy crusty. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
There's a lot of pizza places. There. Okay, cool.
So, I mean, he definitely had the support. Definitely the support of, like, I know it was a huge thing, like, in the book, in the show that was, like, dramatized on FX. Like, the black community, like, did not think OJ did it. So... It's interesting to think that, you know, a lot of people are like, well, fuck, he did it. And then other people are like, no, he didn't. Like, the police are just, you know, targeting a black man. OJ had the...
Sighs eternally.
Best law team money could buy. Like, if you search the Dream Team on Google, like, you'll see OJ's law team. That's it.
Wow. I wonder how much that cost him. I
have no idea. I know that he did lose the civil suit against Nicole's family.
Uh-huh.
Not the murder trial, but the civil suit.
Yes.
Against, like, wrongdoing to her. He had to pay $33 million to her family and Ronald Goldman's family.
Just for existing, like, if she was alive, like, just for existing, like, if she were alive, he should, like, that okay, so...
No, that was for like the murder.
Yeah, but he didn't murder her, in quotation marks.
Yeah, he was acquitted for the murder, but he lost the civil suit.
So what was the civil suit exactly?
It was like for... God. I don't even know what half of this lingo means.
Because if he lost the civil suit and owed 33 million doll hairs...
Yeah, to the murder victims. So it was a wrongful death judgment.
Wrongful death judgment?
Yeah, so it's not the charge for murder, but it's a wrongful death suit. It's a civil lawsuit that was placed against O.J. Simpson against the families, which he lost.
So how come, if he didn't murder her, then how come he owed $33 million for a wrongful death that he did not commit?
That's the question. That's why people are kind of just pissed off about it. Or that's why it's such a televised thing, too, because...
He literally paid himself, or he literally paid his way out of going to jail. And paid his way out of murder.
Correct, yeah.
that's what happened. All right, end story. Close books.
Yep, we're done.
Done. We're done.
Uh,
Okay. Civil suit, lost it, owed the $33 million. Okay.
we're gonna talk about like the key players in this trial
the
too.
Strongest of the legal team.
The strongest of the legal team.
Very
He had
strong.
Robert Shapiro. He was like the head of the octopus. Shapiro was really morally ambiguous in his profession. He was known to be like I'll do whatever it takes to win. This is my job.
Oh my God.
I'll do whatever I need to do. Whatever money can buy, I'm gonna win it. He was always ahead of the media. He was always trying to be ahead of the prosecution team. Whatever could make him / them look the best, Shapiro was gonna do.
Okay.
He also had Robert Kardashian. Robert Kardashian was actually in business. He had been retired from doing law for a long time. I think he was just a litigation lawyer. He was not a defense attorney.
No.
So he didn't really have any practice in doing that as much. He was there for his friend. Yeah.
Yes.
He was really depicted in the show a lot to have been there for OJ through all of it. I don't know if that was true. But it was basically just like David Schwimmer, like walking around saying, "Juice! Juice, are you okay, man?
Juice.
Juice."
Juice.
Yeah, I mean, they had been best friends. Like, his kids called OJ Uncle OJ, and he was at the wedding of him and, like, Kris, now Jenner. So, I mean, it was a long friendship. They were, like, brothers, you know. OJ's kids called Robert, like, Uncle Rob, like, so.
Uncle Rob.
Next is Johnny Cochran, who later becomes head legal counsel to OJ. He was really big in the African-American community. He had actually represented Michael Jackson in some of his trials.
Oh, like the baby one?
Yeah.
Okay, baby
So
out the
he
window.
had rose to fame. He was doing stuff on, like, the news, and he had talked a lot about, like, police brutality against African-Americans, which was a huge key thing in this trial. I want to say that there was only one white juror in OJ's murder trial.
Wow. What?
Yes.
Wow. So they
it's
literally
very
wanted him,
much the game of race that's being played.
Well, they wanted to, like, make sure that he was being judged by his peers, I guess. But it also sounds like a very biased jury.
It's intriguing.
Yes.
So the team also included Leah Bailey, Alan Dershowitz, who also worked for Jeffrey Epstein. I don't know if you've ever watched, like, anything about Jeffrey Epstein or heard anything about it, but he's also, like, furiously proclaiming that he's not a pedophile on all standpoints. Carly Douglas, Gerald Uhrleman, Barry Scheck, 2 additional attorneys who specialize in DNA evidence. So there was a lot of money being thrown around at this trial.
How many attorneys did this bitch have?
Like, I don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 attorneys?
12 motherfucking lawyers.
On the other side, we have district attorneys Marsha Clark, William Hodgman, and later Christopher Darden, who was kind of, like, new to the, like, defense prosecution game. Or defense prosecution, district prosecution game. The other 2, I want to say, were white, and I think he was just kind of brought on so it wasn't gonna look bad on the prosecution's terms.
So there were only 3 lawyers on
the other side. I don't know how much like researchers they had or assistants they had, but these were, like, the 3 key players on the other side versus, like, the 12 that OJ had working for him.
What in the hell? I gotta sneeze. It's coming eventually.
Marsha Clark was played by Sarah Paulson. And bless you.
Thank you.
She's played by Sarah Paulson, who's just, like, chain smoking the whole time. It's great. She's just, like, angry, yelling at people. She's so strong. She's going through, like, the middle of a divorce, trying to raise 2 kids, and
now she's gotta deal with this shit.
Now she's gotta deal with OJ being a fucker and trying to
just pissing in her Cheerios. Sorry, pissing in her OJ.
Stop.
Or putting OJ in her cereal.
I don't think that would taste bad. I
think it
have
tastes awful.
once dipped biscuits in orange juice, and it tasted kind of good.
This actually kind of tastes like orange juice. It's bee sting.
Yeah. This would be good with like a drop of orange juice.
Oh yeah. Ooh, like a bee sting screwdriver.
Yeah, or like an orange inside, like, yeah.
Mmm.
Tune in for our next podcast about cocktails. We'll key danger into it somehow.
Key danger into it.
So they thought they had a really strong case against Simpson. Like, Marcia Clark was for sure like, this guy did it. He's getting fucked. I'm gonna win.
Blood on the fucking crime scene.
And you know, I really think what fucked them over was Christopher Darden made this key mistake in the trial about having OJ try on the gloves.
Yes.
Because the thing about it is I was watching some clips from the trial, and Nicole Brown-Simpson had went to Bloomingdale's and signed off for those gloves. There was a receipt.
Okay.
So there was definitely someone in the family who had worn the gloves. They were men's gloves. So who else would she be buying them for but her husband?
Yeah.
The gloves and the DNA evidence were mishandled because they were kind of like, it was new. It was like, you know, the early 90s DNA evidence was coming out. Some of the blood samples were kept in a hot van.
No.
And the gloves were frozen.
No.
Leather gloves, mind you, were frozen and then unfrozen and then refrozen. So it's a really big scene where OJ puts on these gloves.
They shrunk.
In front of the jury.
No.
And his lawyer is yelling, if it does not fit, you must acquit. That's really what he said.
Lies and slander.
So, I think that's really what fucked them over in the long run, because after, like, 2 hours of deliberation and, you know, like, 6 months of people watching this on TV, the jury came back and said OJ was not guilty. They won this case.
No.
That there might have been, like, you know, some police bias, because the main detective on the case was shown saying, like, some slander against, like, some racist slander. Yeah. So that really fucked them over, too.
Okay.
I'm sure being the prosecutor in that case, that was not fun to find out.
Yes.
Come to find out, too, that, like, you know, the DNA evidence was mishandled, and, I mean, maybe there was even, like, bias with the jury. I don't know.
Yes.
But it seems as though after he won that trial but lost the civil suit, that there was definitely something fishy going on, because when all of this happened, OJ had actually written a book called What If I Did It?
Yes.
Like, how would I do it?
What if I did it? Yes.
And that just doesn't sit right with me.
It doesn't sit right with Dane either. He was like, what if I did it?
Why did he write? Why? But I mean, the proceeds went to the Brown family.
Yes.
So I guess that's good.
Was it like just a book about his confession?
What if he was like, listen, like, this family, like, made me broke. I have to write a book, like, of the thing I was most publicized on. This is what happened. Oh my God. Maybe, allegedly, this is what happened.
I'm just gonna write in my notes here that, wrote a confession book to family.
Now,
and I'm gonna put a little arrow right here at the civil suit, owed $33 million.
They're
and then paid for that with his confession book.
I have to think that book would have been pretty popular too, because of how publicized this case was. People were so captivated by this American soap opera.
Confession book. Dude, you know those publishers made some money off of that.
This beautiful blonde woman gets murdered, and
beautiful.
It's all over the news. But we have to say that there are alternate theories to how Nicole Brown and Ronald Goldman were murdered.
Yes. So apparently, like, so I...
Do you know anything about this?
I don't know anything about the O.J. Simpson. Okay, I don't know not everything about the O.J. I don't not know nothing about it. But
I assume
there's so many negatives in that. I've heard some things. I've heard that that maybe OJ got mad because they were dating, or maybe the guy killed her, and then I don't know. How did he die? Because you didn't
Ronald Goldman?
Yeah, you didn't say much about
He was also stabbed.
Okay.
So he was also stabbed. He was not that far from Nicole.
Where was he stabbed?
I don't remember.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. But I mean, like, who the frick would have killed them? And, like, how...
These two,
The only
there's
motive
no
is
evidence that they were
is the
dating.
orange juice.
But why else would this 35-year-old woman be hanging out with this 25-year-old waiter? Unless maybe they were like...
Wait, how old is she?
She's 35 when she's murdered.
35, and he's 25?
Yes. He's a waiter. He is hanging out with her family, hanging around her kids, which makes me think, he's a single guy. They're...
Yeah, they could be friends.
maybe they're, friends with benefits. Maybe she's testing the water. She had been with OJ since he was 18, so...
Yeah. And how did she know this guy?
He was her friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was her friend. He was with her. She was around her family. I don't know how they met.
Okay, gotcha.
A lot of people were like, "Oh, Nicole Simpson and her boyfriend got murdered," which maybe was the case, but there's no evidence that they were dating.
It also doesn't matter.
I mean, it was weird because there was like ice cream and cocktails and stuff, and like there were candles around her bathtub in her place.
That's
like,
fine.
I mean, there was like definitely a scene that they might have been.
I mean, OJ was 30 and she was fresh out of high school when they married/met. So, and then now she's 35 and this guy's 25, which is way more mature than 18. But still, it doesn't, I mean...
That's my age, bro. I'll be 25 next year.
Dude, I'll be 32. Well, I am 32.
You look like you're 22, so you're fine.
Thank you. But that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not that big of a deal for someone to hang out with someone. Like, at 18, that's where you're like, that's like where you're like... That's literally someone fresh out of high school. There's a big
I did know
difference.
who I wanted to marry when I was 18, though, to be fair.
But that's like a big maturity difference.
It is.
Versus, like, you married someone slash knew who you were going to marry that had the same, like, maturity level of you at the time. But, like, a 25-year-old and a 35-year-old have around the same maturity level. Around. Like,
I
25, you're still
though,
kind of
like, there has to be some sort of control thing there.
Yeah.
When you're with somebody...
She obviously has more money than 25-year-old waiter.
Oh, yeah.
Obby, but...
They were together for a long time, so I'm sure she could have gotten it. I don't know if there was alimony or if there was money from that divorce. There had to have been.
Yeah. So it's like, I mean, and she's, like, famous. I mean, well, she was married to a famous person, so she's famous for proxy. So it's just a very high-profile relationship, I guess. I don't know, man.
Are you ready to hear the alternate theories?
Yes.
So... There's Jason, which is OJ's son.
Oh, okay.
There's
of the Jessicas. Wait, what's her name?
Simpson. Jason Simpson from his first marriage.
Wait.
Marguerite.
I'm very bad with names.
Okay,
so Nicole is the murderee, right?
Yes.
Okay, Nicole, not Jessica Simpson. Wow, I suck. I'm so sorry.
It's Nicole
awful.
Brown-Simpson.
Nicole Brown.
Simpson.
All right.
Jason Simpson.
Okay.
This is OJ's son from
a different marriage.
His adult son.
Yes.
So he was married to Marguerite, and he had 3 kids. One who died.
Yep.
This is Jason. He's older.
Yes.
So there's this LAPD detective who wrote a book called OJ's Innocent and I Can Prove It. Very solid title.
Absolutely stop.
OJ basically wrote a book called I'm Not Innocent, I Can Prove It.
Stop.
I got away.
Oh my God.
Have a nice day.
Oh my God.
All of Jason's ex-girlfriends made this case that Jason did it because he was violent.
Okay.
There were cases against him saying that he was, like, psychotic.
Okay.
He carried around knives on him, which is, like, hello.
Okay.
Weird.
Okay.
I don't know how true this is, but I was talking to Kane's dad, and Kane's dad's had this really strong opinion that OJ's son had did it, because he was, like, since he was young, he was obsessed with Nicole. And I wonder how close in age they were at the time. I don't know.
Okay.
But, I mean... you had to think, like, he would have been, like, maybe, like, in his 20s, late 20s, mid-20s.
Yeah.
I don't know. So maybe, like, the same age as Ronald Goldman at the time. And he might have had this infatuation with her. Like, I'm not sure. Jason was actually on probation at the time for assaulting his former employer with a knife.
A knife?
A knife. Jason had apparently wanted to cook for Nicole that night.
What? Okay.
She canceled last minute.
Wait. He was gonna make dinner. Okay,
for
so...
her. She went to dinner anyway.
Her ex-husband's son, whom she has no bloodline, familial connections with.
Except step.
Except stepmom.
Step removed.
Stepmom.
Yes.
Okay, he wanted to make dinner for her at her place, which she already had dinner. And then, okay.
She was with maybe her boyfriend.
Passion murder. Okay. I'm okay. All right.
Jason probably showed up anyway, according to William Deere, who wrote the book about the OJs May Be Innocent. Jason worked as a chef. He carried a knife collection on him.
On him? Okay.
Just for cooking.
Yes.
He's always had in his car for some reason. Really weird. Just casual knife collection in the car. I feel like I know people that would just carry knives in their cars, and maybe I shouldn't, but I don't know.
I may or may not have a knife in my car.
Yeah, but you're a pretty young white woman.
I'm a dainty lady.
You need to protect yourself, so that's fine.
I'm always, like, looking over my shoulder. Like, because we go to work at, like, 4:30 in the morning. I'm leaving my house at, like, 4:20.
We should talk about this in another podcast. This is a podcast, so we need to talk about
so
ways that women can protect themselves from threats of danger.
My car is literally, like, less than, 20 feet away from my door. It's at the most, it's probably like 50, 60 feet away.
But don't you get scared sometimes and you kind of like walk really fast to your car because you're worried?
Okay. Because our hallway's very well lit. Yeah. Like at 4:30 in the morning, the hall, like when I open the door to my apartment door, it is very well lit. But when you step out of the entryway of my apartment, it's still 4:30 at night or in the morning. It's very dark, and like you don't know what's out there, and you never know.
Probably a knife murder.
Yeah, there might be a knife
with
murder.
cooking knives in his car.
Yeah, and I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna go walk to my car, and while I'm walking to my car, I have my finger on my alarm button, the panic button. Why do they call it the panic button? I wonder why. So I have my finger on the panic button just in case. Like, I don't know if someone's lurking around the corner of like if somebody's crouched down next to my car door. I don't know. And as soon as I get into my car, or I get up to my car, I unlock it, I get into my car, and as soon as I shut my car door, I lock the door.
I'm sorry that you feel like you have to do that in our society. I really am.
And I'm just like right here. Like I walk down the stairs, take the corner here, and then my car's like usually very, very close.
Yeah.
And it's pretty well lit, especially if like the moon's out or something, but you never freaking know. And like people have like broken into cars at like 2:00 in the morning around here. And it's like,
and this is a safe town. Like this is
what if somebody came upon them while they were breaking into a car? What would they do to not be seen? Would they hurt somebody? Would they take advantage of somebody? If they know that someone saw them? Like, I don't want to be all up in that shit. So I'm I'm like prepared every time I get up to go like to work.
No, you should be.
Yeah. Anyway,
sadly,
knives in the car. Cyber Nation.
So basically, he had this alibi that he was at work that night, but he didn't get support from his coworkers, so he had no alibi. Okay. But there was not enough evidence against Jason to prosecute him. I don't know if they took a blood sample of Jason's, but that'd be weird because
would the blood kind of
the DNA would probably be very similar to OJ's, considering that's his father.
They would definitely match to a degree.
So, this theory that William Deer came up with is that OJ thought that Jason did it.
Oh.
And he loves his kids with all his heart.
Yeah.
He maybe thought OJ did it, and that explains his willingness to, like, sacrifice himself for his son.
Oh, you mean that that OJ thinks that Jason did it? Okay.
Yeah, so if OJ thought that Jason did it, maybe he was not trying to implicate his son in a murder.
Mm-hmm.
So in the end, he maybe took the fall.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one theory.
Yeah, like he was trying to protect his crazy-ass son. Okay.
Another theory, and this is my last theory, is Glenn Rogers. He's also known as the country killer. He was convicted of 2 murders, but it was thought to do many more.
Oh, so this is a person that's, like, not even associated with OJ.
No, not at all.
Okay.
He was actually a serial killer.
Gotcha. Okay.
He confessed actually on tape to have murdered Nicole Brown-Simpson and Ronald Goldman.
Nah.
But there was no evidence.
No.
There's no evidence of this dude doing this.
No, it sounds like air blowing out of his ass.
It sounds like maybe he just wanted to be famous.
Yeah.
To me.
I think he was just trying to talk crazy serial killer shit.
Because if I was a serial killer, I would want to be famous. If I was already caught, I'd be like, yeah, I killed them bitches.
You know that bitch? I killed her too.
Mm-hmm.
You know that one? I did that one too.
Yeah, I take credit for all of them.
I did that one. Yep.
Just like right before Ted Bundy died, and he did that, like, interview, and he was like, I kill her, and I kill her, and I kill her.
You know all those people? Killed them too.
Yeah.
That was me.
Yeah, that whole sorority house, I killed them.
I killed that whole sorority house.
God.
I killed that entire sorority house.
It's not funny. It's not.
It's not funny.
It's just weird.
I mean,
it's just wild.
Wild.
Wild is the word.
And humor is a way to
cope with the sad stuff.
Cope with the sadness.
There we go.
When you get the big sad, sometimes all you gotta do is laugh a little bit or put makeup on or drink.
The main, like, prosecuting attorney, Marcia Clark, badass woman, awesome, working hard, single mother, 2 kids,
yes.
in a divorce,
Sarah Paulson.
awesome, Sarah Paulson.
Yes.
I'm just gonna picture her as Sarah Paulson. Not that the original Marcia Clark is bad.
I don't know who Marcia Clark looks like, or I don't know what Marcia Clark looks like, so I'm just gonna picture Sarah Paulson.
Yeah, so she actually concealed that tape from the media, so they couldn't find it. And that's sketchy, but it's not, because she wanted to have a case against OJ. Yeah, so I get why she did it.
Yeah, she didn't want this crazy killer guy just rambling about how he killed so-and-so, even though there's 0 evidence.
Yeah, so, I mean, I understand.
Yeah.
The theory is that the prosecution saw it as a fame and fortune prosecuting a major celebrity and nothing to gain prosecuting Rogers or Jason. That's the theory, is that, like, the prosecutors were like, oh, we need to prosecute the celebrity. This is going to make us look so good. Like, we're going to be so famous from this, which I don't feel like is the theory to me. Yeah. I don't believe that. But someone out there believes that, so I'm going to talk about it. This theory says most likely Rogers did it, possibly with the detective Mark Furman's help, the one that said the racist slurs.
Oh my god.
And it explains why Furman framed OJ and had bragged to his fellow officers about having sex with Nicole and about her breast implants.
Ooh, booby implants.
It also says that Furman hated gays and Jewish people. Okay. He believed that Ron was gay and Jewish. And Furman hated... I mean, obviously, if you already hate the gays and Jews, you're just going to go and hate interracial couples, too. So, Furman hated interracial couples, such as Nicole and OJ.
Oh, my God. I'm going to show them.
So, I don't know how much I believe that one. That one seems very... I mean, maybe it's true. I don't know. I mean, crazy stuff happens every day, but... It seems more outlandish than the Jason Simpson one.
Yeah, I feel like he saw the news and was like, oh, they're interracial and stuff. I'm glad that happened. Yeah, I did it. I'm crazy and I'm a killer.
I'm crazy and I'm a serial killer.
I'm crazy and I'm a serial killer, and I'll just talk out of my ass because I want to be famous because I ain't got nothing else to do.
I'm already on the death penalty. What's up, my friends?
Yep, exactly. So I I don't know how I definitely don't think that one is that one's not as believable. Definitely the Jason one. That one intrigues me.
That one seems like it could be true.
Yes.
Because honestly, I've never had children, but I think that I love my cats with all my life. So if I brought something out of my womb that I loved as much as my cats, I would die for my cats. But what if you brought something out of your womb that you loved a whole lot?
Yeah.
Would you want to protect them from prison?
I mean, a lot of parents are like that. Like, they will sacrifice themselves.
I think my mom would bury a body for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd bury a body for a lot of people, but
if it was
for the right cause.
I would bury a body for you if it was a bad guy.
Oh, hell yeah, dog.
If it was a good guy, I would say no. But if it was a bad guy, I'd be like, yeah. All right.
Oh, trust me. If like I accidentally killed somebody, like I hit somebody or something with my car, it's like my worst fear is hitting somebody with my car.
You could call me for that.
Hitting somebody with my car is literally like one of my biggest fears, because that's like the one thing that I can kill somebody with.
I've never been in court. That would be an interesting court
I was on
case.
jury duty.
You were. Yes. I remember that. You had to leave work.
I wanted to be on that goddamn jury so bad, and they didn't pick me. I think it was because I looked too eager.
You need to not act like you care about anything.
I looked way too eager. I was like really attentive and listening to them.
I would love to be on a jury.
Dude, it was so fucking cool. I was like, but they chose this other chick that obviously did not want to be there. She looked scared out of her mind, and she was like, she was practically in her pajamas when she showed up.
Those are the people they pick. The people that act like they don't give a shit because they act like they're middle ground.
She was just like,
my dad was picked for a jury once. What? He was on a rape trial.
Oh, yeah. My motherfucking God.
Yeah, interesting fact. I remember that from my childhood. My dad would come back and he would be like just so tired and exhausted.
I would not have been picked for that.
Because he was like, I just don't want to be here.
No.
This is awful.
Yeah.
Especially he's like, this guy, I mean, he wasn't supposed to talk about it. I mean, it's been years now, but he was like, this guy totally fucking did it.
Yeah.
He needs to go to jail. But yeah.
This one was for you know the Sheets by Wegmans? It used to be there. It's not there anymore. Something's up with that. So apparently someone caught it on fire. Someone burned it.
Oh, arson.
Someone burned it. Someone. I'm not going to point fingers or name names or anything like that, but someone apparently burned it down. Not burned it down, but they caused a fire.
Yeah, like that shit's still doing stuff.
Was was the one that was on the defense.
The bench boy.
That was on the So this person was the person that we would be listening to defense wise, and I was like, ooh, this is some heavy crime tea. Let me sip on this. But I think that they knew you liked crime too much. I think that they like saw my true crime like spidey senses just vibing off of me, and I was just like, God damn it. I want to be picked for jury duty so bad. Dude, and they were like, oh, well, since you got picked for jury duty, you are now exempt from being picked from jury duty for a whole year. And I was like, or no, not a whole year, for like 5 years or 3 years or something like that.
Something like that.
And I was like, fuck, keep picking me, please.
My mom got called for jury duty one time, but they actually, like, she got exempt from it because she was, like, breastfeeding.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if that's, like, a thing, but I don't know. Dude, that was, like, her excuse.
Dude, when you go to, well, that's the thing. When you go into the jury duty and they do, like, ask the question, like, they do this, like, pre-trial questions, and they're like, oh, hey, so we're gonna ask these questions. So, like, the defense, the defense, what's the other people?
The prosecution.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The prosecutors are like, hey, we're going to ask some questions, and then the defense gets to ask second follow-up questions if the prosecutor didn't ask questions that were already on their list.
Sure.
So they ask questions. So obviously the case was arson and stuff like that. So they were like, has anyone here been a victim of a crime? Has anyone here been a victim of an arson? Has anyone here been has anyone been convicted of arson?
They want to make sure you don't have a bias.
Anything?
And those are the lawyers from both sides, and they pick, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And of course, none of the questions applied to me, like, at all. But there were a lot of other people that were like, oh, is there any reason why you would like to be exempt? And other people were like, oh, I have so-and-so in the hospital. I'm their caretaker. I really can't take off for this. Like, I really
You were like, pick me, choose me.
Yeah, and this other guy, he was, like, very, very, vocal and animated throughout, like, the entire, jury choosing thing, and he was like, yeah, man, I have, like, my kids I need to pick up, and this is such a weird situation I've never been in before. Yeah, I've been to jail. I'm not in jail no more, but however, I do have, like, a restraining order against my wife. So he had
what?
He had a lot of drama in his life. This is a jury guy, and he's like, yeah,
Hello?
I gotta pick up my kids after. I have to pick my kids up. I gotta be there to pick them up after when they get off the bus, and I'm just like,
oh my god,
this
dude,
guy,
I'm so
he was
sorry.
the first person they excused. Like, they were like, all right, guys, we're gonna send you back.
We're tired of listening to your life.
Yes, and they were like, they came back in, they were like, juror number this, you're free to go, and he was like, cool. He was like, Jimmy, he was like, cool, man, cool. So he was just like, all right, peace. And he just, like, jaunted on out of the courtroom. And one of the ladies was, like, close friends with, like, with the judge and, like, all these other people. So she was like, hi.
She was hella exempt.
She was like, hi, I know the juror. They were like, they were like, oh, do you know anybody in law enforcement? Do you know any of the lawyers here? Do you know anybody? Do you know anybody in this motherfucking room? And she was like, I do.
That would immediately declare a mistrial.
I'm actually best friends with the judge.
I don't know anything about law, but I do know that would, like,
so
fuck the trial
they were like,
so
bitch,
hard.
leave. And she was like, see you later. I was like, oh my god. And of course, they just went right past me when they were like, all right, we're going to pick our people now. And I was like, please pick me. And they went right over my stupid number. And I was like,
yeah, you gotta act like you don't care next time.
Yeah, next time I just need to look like I don't want to be there. I just gotta keep my arms crossed, my legs crossed, and just pick at my nails the whole time.
But I feel like I form such polarizing opinions about murder.
I think I was just screaming true crime addict the whole time.
Yeah, they, like, knew you listened to true crime podcasts.
They were like, look at this bitch.
Yeah.
She looks way too cool. I was wearing my brown pants too.
Oh no, you can't wear the hot pants.
I was wearing the pants.
The hot pants.
My brown sack pants. I looked amazing.
Damn.
But I think I just looked too precious.
Too precious.
I looked like I was too ready to be there. Like, I was like, I am.
Yeah, you
ready.
gotta look really jaded by life. You gotta look really just like you don't want to be there. You don't care.
You gotta look like you just rolled out of bed.
Every juror I see on Law and Order, they just look like, fuck this. They look so sad.
They look like they have a lot of bills.
Like, life has put them through the ringer. I don't want to talk about my loans and my bills and my student loans.
It's like, fine, just give me my $15 so I can leave. They gave me $15.
Nice! In cash or like a check?
They gave me cash.
Nice.
Dude, the lady, though, that gave me the cash, she was wearing a bird shirt. Like a button-up collared bird shirt.
I love her.
Like, you know how I have, like, my jellyfish, watercolor jellyfish shirt?
Yeah, dude.
She had a button-up bird shirt. I was like... ma'am, and she had, like, on this cute pencil skirt, so it was, like, tucked in, and
Please bring me back to the jury, ma'am.
And she was, like, the announcer for the jury, too, so she was the one that gave us the money. She was really, really nice, and then she was, like...
How do you get into a job like that?
Yeah, and she, like, walked in, and she was all perky, and she was like, thank you for being here, here are the rules. Don't talk about this, da-da-da, here's a bathroom, you cannot leave this room.
As you're talking about it on your podcast.
If you have any questions, well, don't talk about the case, like, while it's
Do
going
we have
on,
to, maybe it's over now. It's well
over.
Okay, that's
yeah,
good.
Yeah,
it's been like a year.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Have I known you for more than a year?
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. Our Facebook was like, hey, here's your friend-iversary. Congratulations.
Cool. Happy anniversary to us.
Happy friend-iversary. So, yeah.
I want to hear your final thoughts on the OJ case. Like, who you thought did it. Maybe, like, if you have any more questions that I can answer.
So, now I'm mad.
Okay.
I'm just mad. Because, first I was like, okay. Honestly, I didn't know anything about OJ. I know.
Sure.
I knew there was a lady and her boyfriend, maybe.
Possibly.
Possibly, that got
Sure.
killed. I do know that their bodies were found in the yard.
It's sad that nobody talks about Ronald Goldman that much, because I don't know a whole lot about his murder. I think he was just kind of in the crossfire.
Yeah, like he was
for sure.
He was part of the aggravation.
Yeah.
Or part of the he was probably part of the reason, but obviously the person was mostly mad at her.
Correct. Yeah.
So first, okay, so just for judging by what you just told me, it's very apparent that they were both stabbed to death, and then it was very apparent that whoever sliced her neck open so much that it almost beheaded her
was a very
angry person, and they were very mad at her. All signs obviously point to the husband, or in this case, ex-husband.
Yeah.
However,
the Jason
theory is very intriguing. Like, very intriguing. If he was a violent person already had knives on hand, and already was, like, pre-ready to, be there to, like, surprise her or whatever the fuck with dinner or something, then, like, that's kind of like he was planning on, like, having, like, this weird little date thing or something. I don't know.
With your ex-stepmom.
Yeah, or maybe he was, like, he, like, still saw her as his mom and didn't, or stepmom, and didn't like seeing her with another guy. Or something. Something. That's very intriguing to me.
I mean, there was also that, like, theory that Ronald Goldman was gay, and maybe he was just a good friend, and I don't know. I mean, there's so much that's, like, unsolved and unresolved with this story that's so frustrating that still captivates people to this day.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's why we're still talking about it.
Yeah. It's very, very interesting for sure. Okay, my question is, what's Jason up to right now?
I don't know. I would love to know. Does he have, like, an IG?
He's probably got Twitter.
He got an Instagram.
Does he have Twitter or Instagram? If he doesn't, it's fishy suspicious, that's for sure. Jason Simpson. Jason O.J. Simpson.
O.J.'s son is the son of former NFL running back, broadcaster, and actor.
Let me see his face.
That's what he looks like.
That's a killer. Look at him. Look at that smug ass
Look at the
face.
whole family. Look, he's grown.
Oh, what the fuck?
He's
and
like,
that's Dad?
Yeah. So that's OJ. That's Nicole. She's beautiful.
They're both cute.
Look at their children, though. They're gorgeous.
All of them are beautiful.
Yeah, their whole family is just like very Hollywood.
Beautiful. Okay. And Jason's over there looking all weird. Okay, looking all side-eye.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's like a whole book that just talks about Jason Simpson being the murderer. So, I mean, I feel like that whole family is just it's very sad.
There's a lot of stuff going on.
Even 20 years later, this has been 20, it's been almost 30. Oh my god, it's been almost 30 years. Okay. Almost 30 years later, because OJ's in his 70s now, mind you.
Yeah.
Like, he's an old man.
Old dude.
By the way,
it happened when I was like 7, so it's
Side tangent to this. O.J. Simpson thinks Carol Baskin killed her husband. If anybody's ever watched Tiger King...
Everyone thinks Carol Baskin killed her goddamn husband.
I know, but O.J. Simpson thinks she did it, so is that the expert just, like, giving his opinion?
I know things. I know how to kill somebody.
My father-in-law truly believes that Jason Simpson killed Nicole Brown-Simpson. I think it was O.J. Those are my last thoughts, because the evidence is very apparent in my eyes.
Yes. Okay. Also, who lives in the guest house?
It was his friend.
Who's his friend?
He was like this like surfer-looking dude. Yeah, so, Kalen.
Did Jason ever go to his dad's house? Did he ever hang out at his dad's house?
Oh yeah, like his family was very close to him.
Like, where was Jason when all this went down? Is there like not any solid alibis for that?
Okay, so his name is Kato Kalen. He's very, like, this is what he looks like.
Oh.
He was not a suspect, really, as much as he was, like,
God.
It says he was an American actor, radio and television personality.
Oh my God.
Who was a witness in the O.J. Simpson case.
I can't with what he looks like, what's that guy's name? He's married to Sheryl Crow.
It says he was a minor witness in the prosecution. He was staying in the guest house on Simpson's Rockingham estate and was present on the compound the night of the 2 murders of June 12th. He was witnessed some of Simpson's movements before and after the time of murders.
Huh.
So,
I'm wondering, okay, so like hashtag scenario.
Okay.
Jason kills Nicole, and then he's like, fuck. But why would he leave his bloody glove there? That's the question. Okay, anyway. So,
I think whoever did the murder was very nervous.
Yes. And then, so all
They'd never killed before. It was the first time.
Yeah, so all this shit so they're like, oh, fuck.
Hashtag first time kind of nervous.
Jason runs to Daddy's house. How far away is Daddy's house from Nicole's
2
house?
miles.
2 miles.
So that's a long run.
Well, not run, but he hashtag drives, hashtag runs.
Okay.
Sorry, not hashtag. He drives / runs
Mind
to
you,
Daddy's house.
2 young kids are asleep upstairs during all this.
And oh no, and drops his fucking. Who was with the kids?
Nobody. They were dead, bro.
The kids weren't dead.
No, Nicole.
Oh, sorry.
No, not the kids. That'd be a lot sadder.
She brought the kids. Sorry. So her and Boy Toy came home with the kids and put the kids to sleep.
Yes, correct. They were upstairs asleep.
So, do the kids have any
No, there's no really like involvement with the children.
Like they didn't see anything.
OJ does get custody of the kids.
Yeah,
which is very hard for Nicole's parents.
Yeah, of course. Which is
I mean, Nicole's parents thoroughly believe that OJ killed their daughter. He had possibly abused her.
Yeah.
Which, I firmly believe that we should believe abuse victims, so I want to say that he did. And she was probably scared.
Yeah. How old were the kids, roughly?
They were young. I was, kind of doing, a little bit of research. They were, 8, 9, 10. That kind of,
That's still a pretty...
above 5, but younger than 10,
yeah,
I want to say.
That's still, a pretty, legitimate age, though. You remember shit when you're that age.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Things happen that you don't
Cato
understand.
Cato the Akita remembered. He saw what happened, but we can't speak to dogs, so...
Yeah, he knows what happens.
He definitely saw all of
witness.
it.
The witness.
Someone should have put him up on the stand. Sir, do you know what happened at the time of these murders?
Bork, bork. Bork, bork, bork. Baby buffalo. Oh, Lord. At least they didn't kill him. Or the kids. I mean,
that would have been more tragic.
Death is death. Dying
death is death,
dead.
But adult humans versus dogs and kids.
Babies.
That's the saddest because they can't help themselves.
Yeah, they're innocent baby buffaloes.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, so adults are baby buffaloes too, but it's just different. When
we're all just water-filled
so
meat sacks that are so precious. You can't hurt us.
We're all meat sacks.
This meat sack needs pizza, so I might be wrapping this up soon for pizza.
Cha. All right, well, I guess we can wrap this up. I mean, we did pretty good. Hour and 20 minutes.
Hour and 20 minutes. If you're still listening right now, thank you. Yeah. Because I guess you must really like listening to this.
Pilot
or maybe you're asleep.
This is a murder cast. O.J. Simpson cast, sleep cast.
I think we're gonna call this Knives in the Car.
Knives in the Car.
The murders of Nicole Brown-Simpson and Ronald Goldman.
Would you like some ASMR?
That's, yeah, very nice. That means Kat needs a refill.
Yes. That is the ASMR refill.
If I have another refill, Kane's gonna have to come pick me up. Yeet. He said he would, so if anything happens, I have a DD. Everybody knows that I'm, driving safe.
Your house is literally 2 miles away from my house.
Oh my god, you could murder me and leave gloves.
Dun dun.
Yeah. Alright, anyways, have a nice day. Don't put yourself in danger. And maybe keep a knife in your car.
Stranger danger, lady danger. OJ danger.
We're still working on the end line, alright? Just stay with us. Thanks.
Hey, we don't have to have no end line. Anyway. Hashtag LOL. Peace out, Girl Scouts. Fishy suspicious. It's all fishy suspicious to me.